Greetings, YouTube. Danny Staten here on Day Blog. I'm back again with maybe some good stuff. I'm taking a look today at Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson. It's another classic illustrated comic book. It's number 13 from 1968. And I'm really digging that cover, even though this comic book has a little bit of edge damage. It's not what you'd call mint condition, but it's good enough for my wall. Hey, I love these classic illustrated horror stories. As you can tell, I've done a couple of them lately. Hey, anybody remember Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde? Oh, you know I'm going to do this. That's right, I wouldn't be me if I didn't whoop out a little video trailer to remind you of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson.
Good and evil are so close as to be chained together in the soul. Man is not truly one, but two. Now, supposing we could break that chain, separate those two selves, free the good in man and let it go on to its higher destiny, and segregate the bad. Let it destroy itself in its own degradation. Good heavens.
Why, Dr. Jekyll?
Hopelessly insane. This is pure balderdash.
You're dealing with things it would be better not to mention for your own sake. There might be trouble.
Jekyll was falling in love with you? You with your cheap little dreams? Or did you think as you looked at him that perhaps in his eyes you saw a bit of me? Hyde. Was that it?
No.
It's interesting, isn't it? Bee, darling.
Harry.
I love you so very much, Bee.
I ain't as bad as you might think. You liked me once a little, didn't you? Honest, that night you walked out of my place, I laughed at you. But I didn't laugh after you'd gone. I kept wishing you'd come back.
Now once more, Lanyon. Will you let me take this glass and go? No. Why should I? For your own sake, Lanyon. Do you want to live on as you have? Or do you want to have your safe peace, your reason even, blasted by a sight that would shock the lowest fiend in the inferno?
Oh my God, I love that trailer. Don't y'all like that trailer? Let me know in the comments below. Hey, that's probably going to be the best part of the video. Oh my God. Well, it's number 13. Let's bust open Classic Illustrated, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And inside the front cover, you get a hardback bound edition of Classic Illustrated. You could order it right here back in 1969. And in the very first page of the comic, we see Dr. Jekyll and his alternate ego, Mr. Hyde. Boy, they did a little bit shabby job on that art. He don't look like a Mr. Hyde I remember. What do you think? Oh, I think this comic book didn't start from where the movie did. So in full panels brought to you by the Daily Dan Blog, we get started. We see the story. Dr. Jekyll explaining to his assistant and a couple of other goose that Well, you saw it. There's a difference in man. They're not ready for the difference in man. Dr. Jekyll gonna shoot himself up. Dr. Jekyll gonna do experiments on himself. Dr. Jekyll being watched by the law already. Yeah, I'm already hating this comic book. Yeah, the art looks pretty good. Dr. Jekyll looked like Dracula, but yeah, Mr. Hyde looked like Dracula. Dr. Jekyll looked like a dork, and look, he's attacking little orphan Annie. Oh my God! And he beat her in the head with his stick, and he's already Mr. Hyde, and he's done created the potion that turns him into Mr. Hyde. I cannot believe in this. Oh. Maybe he's not Mr. Hyde. Maybe that's just some evil man. Nope, that's Mr. Hyde. Mr. Hyde looking all Frankenstein-y now. Village people beat Mr. Hyde with umbrellas and sticks. Yeah, I kind of don't get it, you know. You said I had the laboratory and the casserie. You said I had Mr. Hyde. Dr. Jekyll making up some potion that turned him into it. You skipped all that. You went straight to he's turned into a goof. He's running around attacking people. He's robbing people. The cops are hot on his trail, looking like leprechauns. His former assistant seems to be searching for him because he knows he's turned into Mr. Hyde, and I just want to pull my hair out and scream already. But I guess we're just going to go with it and get a shoe shine from the shoe shine boy. Shoeshine boy kind of looks like Roy down there shining some shoes in Puerto Rico for $1.50. Anyway, they're on the case. They're looking for Mr. Hyde. Mr. Hyde is creeping around with his hat turned down. His laboratory assistant has finally got Mr. Hyde. And he says, hey, we can turn you back to Dr. Jekyll, but Mr. Hyde's not interested. He wants to stay in control. There's only one thing to do. We're going to have to call in a specialist to help. No, you mustn't call in a specialist. I am in control. And so the assistant goes in search of a specialist. And he goes to the incomparable Mike Bleasy's the butler. Oh, my God, I just noticed that. He goes into the incomparable Dr. Wilson. He's going to get Dr. Wilson to help him, but we did not know that Wilson had a butler named Bleasy. All righty. So he goes and talks to Dr. Wilson. Dr. Wilson says, well, anything that can be done can be undone. We'll make a cure. I don't really think Dr. Jekyll needs a cure, because Dr. Jekyll's done turned back to Dr. Jekyll, went down to the lab, did some mixing, did some Caucasian, and did some stuff, made him another drink, turned back into Mr. Hyde. Dr. Jekyll likes being Mr. Hyde. No matter what his lab assistant does, there ain't going to be no cure for that. He ain't like Michael Marone's dad. And now we get the classic illustrated montage of Mr. Hyde being Mr. Hyde. Mr. Hyde going amok. Mr. Hyde doing experiments. Mr. Hyde drinking more so he can stay Mr. Hyde. Now, Dr. Jekyll's lovely bride-to-be is wondering why he's spending so much time away. And the assistant stalks Mr. Hyde and says, hey, Mr. Hyde, you know, we can fix you. Mr. Hyde's like, I don't want to be fixed. And shows him just how much he don't want to be fixed, with a cane upside the head and a stomp and a beat down. And the lady run over there and try to stop it. She gets smacked down for her troubles too. Mr. Hyde will not be trifled with as they find the body of this goof. And the cops are all like, wow, Mr. Hyde. And they get a description of Mr. Hyde from the girl who survived. And then they go in search of Mr. Hyde. Mr. Hyde done dropped something. Mr. Hyde dropped something addressed to Dr. Jekyll. So that puts them on the case to go check out Dr. Jekyll as the assistant identifies the body. Dum, da, dum, dum. And now we get a couple of pages of the cops. The cops doing their investigation. Then cops canvassing the neighborhood. And oh my God, the neighborhood looks like a dump. Anyway, the cops everywhere, they're asking questions. They're asking every old lady they see about Mr. Hyde. And asking and asking. And asking some more, and asking some more, and canvassing some more, and asking some more, and searching some more, and canvassing some more. And Mr. Hyde the whole time is right under their very noses. Oh, my God. And we get more searching, and more discussing, and more talking, and more searching, and more discussing, and more talking. Finally, apparently, he done changed back into the doctor. And the doctor gonna lounge around and hide in plain sight from all these goofy cops looking for Mr. Hyde. No, I ain't seen no Mr. Hyde. I'm just old Dr. Jekyll over here. Yeah, I'm a little kind of disappointed in this comic book, I have to admit. I had to take a visit from the sponsors. As sicko Dr. Jekyll gets letters from himself. Oh, my God, when you write letters to yourself, you know you got a mental problem, right? Oh, my God. Well, anyway, I'm lost on this one. I really am. I can't understand why they don't just arrest him. They know he's the assistant guy done told the police he turned into Mr. Hyde. They just don't believe him. Dr. Jekyll's like, no, that can't be. He ratted me out. And the police don't even believe him. And oh my God, the cop's like, could it be a possibility? As the newspapers call out that they're on the search for Mr. Hyde. So even though this goofy assistant's telling these goofy bastards, he telling them, hey, you know, this guy turns into Mr. Hyde and it's all like a medical thing. The cops are just totally in disbelief. And I remember none of this from the movie. Does anybody remember this part being in the movie where the assistant's ratting him out all the way around? So once again, they're canvassing the town looking for Mr. Hyde, and while Dr. Jekyll's walking around treating the girl that got attacked by Mr. Hyde. Oh my God, she don't even know it's him because she's kind of an idiot. But look, he don't look like Mr. Hyde, but he's all goofed up. He goes back, he takes a read. He's sweating bullets. He's playing with Halloween stuff, apparently. Oh, my God. Goofy's mixing him up something. You know, he can't take it. He can't take it. He has to go all Mr. Hyde every chance he gets. Oh, my God. Anyway, he drinks the potion, and Mr. Hyde's creeping to town again. He was doing so good. He was hiding in the shadows. He was keeping it out of sight. And now, well, I don't think this is going to go well. So info panels brought to you by the Daily Dan blog. Mr. Hyde returns because Goofy drank the potion. Yeah, Mr. Hyde's going around beating people in the head with a stick and taking all their loot. Dave, Sunstorm, this is not the good stuff. He drank some more potion. He turns back. Oh, my God, what have I done? So, Dave Sunstorm, do you call this book the good stuff? I'm leaning towards not. Oh, my God. And be sure to check out Dave Sunstorm here on YouTube and his incredible brother, Steven Sunstorm. You can find them guys on YouTube, and I strongly suggest you check out the good stuff, guys, as well as my friend, Thrash Pondo Pons. He's here to save every one of us. You can find him on YouTube as well as Pat McCormick at the Golden Rage of TV. Special shout out to Pat McCormick for letting me use his music for the theme for my show, 13 O'Clock Live, which you can see every Saturday night. You can see it tonight with a special movie. I'm not going to tell you what. And be sure to check out Big Guys 45's BK on there and the Live and Sat in this channel, as well as My Flock is Everywhere. I love the good stuff, people. So info panels brought to you by the Daily Dan blog. We get back to this miserable nightmare, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde from 1969 by Robert Louis Stevens. So as the police beat down the doors, tearing up the town looking for Mr. Hyde, Dr. Jekyll lays down for a good night's sleep. Dr. Jekyll wakes up in a sweat. Dr. Jekyll looks in the mirror and sees Mr. Hyde and realizes, God darn it, they're going to get me. He runs to the lab and mixes up a concoction and drinks it real quick, just in time to see Bleezy walk in. I guess he hired Bleezy away from another guy to be his butler after the other guy got murdered. And he sees Dr. Jekyll. Dr. Jekyll sitting in his chair with his hands on his face, all depressed, as the cop feeds the pigeons and thinks it over. Where could Mr. Hyde be? What a dumb cop. And the epitome of stupidity. Oh, my God. Dr. Jekyll just had a spell. Dr. Jekyll done freaked out. Dr. Jekyll went on Mr. Hyde on a walk. Dr. Jekyll is tripping because he's Mr. Hyde now, and there stands the Bobby. He could be caught at any minute. But, of course, he dips, turns, and manages to get away, not being seen by the blind-ass police in this comic book. Oh, my God, I wish it was that easy to get away from the police. I'd have been a successful criminal. Anyway, Mr. Hyde's a lurking. Mr. Hyde's a creeping. Mr. Hyde's a tripping. Mr. Hyde's writing Dr. Jekyll some more freaking letters, apparently. As Dr. Jekyll wakes up, Dr. Jekyll again. What? A carriage rides by in the night. That's a beautifully drawn scene. So in more full panels, brought to you by the Daily Dan blog, my one complaint about classic illustrated comic books is They go on, they go on, and they go on with lots of nondescript talking. Where is my fiancée, Dr. Jekyll? I do not know. Dad goes up and whoops out a gift. It was a wedding gift that nobody will be receiving as Mr. Hyde shows up. Mr. Hyde talking to the father of the bride that Mr. Jekyll's supposed to marry. Like, if you ever want to see Jekyll again, I'm gonna need some money. So he takes the guy's money, buys up some lab stuff. He said, I'll bring back Dr. Jekyll for you. He whoops out the package, which was some lab equipment, mixes up some stuff, and takes a big gulp, and suddenly, look, I am Dr. Jekyll. I told you if you helped me, I would bring him back. And now the guy's amazed. Father of the bride's like, how can this be? So he's a scientist too, so he's going to get some help from this guy, I think, as Bleezy shows up to announce, there is something wrong, sir. Wah, wah, wah. That's right, we're going to get pages and pages of Butler Bleezy ratting Dr. Jekyll out to the police. The staff in an uproar because they hadn't been paid. Locked doors and nobody answering, and Bleezy and the police are like, what's going on here? And they open up locked doors to find empty kitchens, and what does that matter? Bleezy tells the story how he gets left messages from Dr. Jekyll. And Dr. Jekyll tells him how to treat Mr. Hyde, but he never sees Dr. Jekyll much. I don't get it. He knocks on the door and sees Mr. Hyde, but he gets a letter from Dr. Jekyll telling him exactly what to do, what chemicals and what stuff to pick up. Bleezy is suspicious. Don't you already know he's turning into Mr. Hyde, officer? Didn't the assistant tell you that? Oh, my God. Well, then what has to be the worst adaptation of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde I've ever looked through? Bleezy tells the cop. Bleezy tells the cop everything. Gives the cop the letters from Dr. Jekyll. Shows him the chemicals he was picking up. He's like, finally convinced. Dr. Jekyll is turning into Mr. Hyde. Good job, you ratting-ass little butler. You finally convinced the cop of something he found out 27 pages ago. And now, we'll get him. Dun, da, da. And they break in the door with a posse to arrest him and find Dr. Jekyll OD'd on the floor. Oh, my God. Nothing like the movie. I don't think Robert Louis Stevens would be happy with Mike Bleezy being the one that survived and Dr. Jekyll OD'd on the floor like he done had some fentanyl. The cop reads his final letter. That did not even matter because he died. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Worst comic book ever. And just like we saw on the other comic book I done, you get these autobiographies in the back. I really like the last one. I'm not reading this one. You can read it if you want to. I'm sure if Michael Marone's watching, that idiot will pause it and read every word. Because that's what Michael Marone does. And look at this, some damage on the comic book. It ain't perfect. But you get to see some other timeless classics you could have picked up from Classic Illustrated back in 1969. Yeah, a little bit of damage on this comic book. That kind of bugs me a little bit. I don't like that. But, oh, well, it's the cover I wanted anyway, not the back. I'll probably never get opened again. Well, YouTube, that's my look at Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde from 1969, number 13. It's classic by Robert Louis Stevens. Let me know what you thought in the comments below, and let me know if it was anything like what you remember the movie being, because I think it's, I ain't going to say that word, but it's beat, because this is nothing like the movie or the book I read or nothing. It's utterly mind-blowing how much has changed. Be sure to like, subscribe, and ring that stupid little bell for me. And be sure to join me next time when I look at something, hopefully, a lot better. Till next time, blog over, dudes.